Greetings folks, this is Josiah, bringing you an update on my channel. I'd like to take a few minutes to discuss what this channel is all about, how things have gone so far, my thoughts on general Let's Play topics, and my plans for the channel in the short term. First of all, I'd like to thank the awesome people who have been watching and commenting on my videos, offering great advice and feedback, and a lot of very encouraging compliments and appreciation for what I've been doing. I'm very grateful to you all, and just delighted to know that at least a few people really do enjoy what I've been sharing and find my style of play and commentary to be entertaining. So thank you so much for all of the support. I love your comments, and I'm happy to be able to provide something that you find value in. Speaking of comments, I also have to apologize to those same people I just thanked. I've been largely terrible about actually responding to the fantastic feedback and kind words you've been leaving for me, which is something that I feel bad about and honestly have no excuse for. I absolutely do read every comment, and then for some reason I just don't get around to replying to them for a really long time. I'd like to try to improve on that front and be more responsive, especially to questions asked or the really detailed expressions of appreciation that some of you send my way. I just went back through and spent a few hours answering every comment on my videos that I'd left unacknowledged for like a month or two, and I was struck again by how awesome my few highly interested viewers have been, and how unfair it was for me to remain silent in the face of such great feedback. So again, sorry for the lengthy delay in response, and I'll work on being more responsive in the future. I've only been doing these Let's Plays for about 3.5 months now, having never done anything like this before. It's been very interesting and lots of fun, and I'm learning some lessons. I was honestly expecting it to be easier than it is. But doing a good job at this is actually pretty tough. I find that trying to play and commentate at the same time is fairly challenging, and like with such divided focus, each activity distracts from the other a significant amount. The actual quality of my gameplay itself and my ability to pay attention and remain focused on what I'm doing in the game all the time definitely suffers because I'm constantly trying to talk about it at the same time. Likewise, I think that my commentary is often a lot less interesting, punchy, or funny than it might otherwise be if I were simply watching something passively while reacting and talking about it. I definitely have a greater appreciation now for those talented people who are able to do both very well at the same time. It's harder than it looks. I think that it's a skill that I can develop more over time. At least I'm hoping so. I have to confess that I was rather expecting to get more views on my videos and more subscribers by this point as well. I'm even more impressed now with the many excellent YouTubers who have incredibly high numbers of views and subscribers, as I definitely not realized how extraordinarily they actually are. I assumed that it would be somewhat easy to get at least a certain amount of attention, but I was definitely overestimating the draw of my own content. There are a lot of different Deus Ex Human Revolution playthroughs on YouTube now, a lot, for example, and nearly all of them have tens or hundreds or even thousands of times the number of views that mine do. So that's been pretty humbling, really. I know that my playstyle is definitely not for everyone, nor am I a brilliantly entertaining commentator by any stretch of the imagination. So I've always expected to appeal to a fairly small niche audience. But still, I honestly did think that the Deus Ex series would bring in a little more attention than it did, especially in comparison to the simply incredible number of people who are apparently watching every other playthrough of that game besides mine. But that's not something I'm upset about. It's just an interesting lesson learned. An adjustment of my expectations for sure. I'm not trying to make money from doing this, nor do I ever plan to, so amassing views and subscribers for their own sake is not actually something that matters much to me. It's more the idea of feeling like what I'm putting out there is decent, that it's at least entertaining enough to appeal to a fair number of people. I don't ever expect to have thousands of subscribers, but I think I'd like to know that at least a few hundred people are regularly watching my videos. Still, I'm certainly content enough to just keep going and let the attention of my videos build up slowly over time. I'm very happy with the support and feedback I've gotten so far, so it definitely feels like what I've done up to this point has been worth it, and I'm encouraged and excited about doing more. Actually, it's funny that I mentioned things like subscriber numbers and the like, because that's one of my pet peeves with a lot of the people who produce content for YouTube. The excessive, relentless self-promotion that most people seem to feel compelled to always do. The begging people to subscribe, to like, to favorite their videos. I get really sick of seeing these pop-up annotations on everyone's damn videos trying to get people to like or subscribe, or the fact that so many YouTubers have to mention it in every video they do. In my opinion, if you're having to ask people to subscribe or like your video, it's missing the point. I mean, I can understand it for professional content creators who are actually trying to make a living off of this. Sure, you've got to market your product, I get that. But seriously, most of the people who upload here are not on that level and are never going to be. So really, you can stop with the intrusive reminders to like, favorite, subscribe. If I like your video, I'll click the like button. If I want to see more from you, I'll subscribe. I'm not going to do either of those things because you asked me to. And I sure don't want anyone liking or subscribing to my stuff because I demanded it. I am never going to put those annotations on my videos. And you're never going to hear me say, please remember to like and subscribe in my commentary. Never. Because I want to know that those likes and subscriptions represent people actually appreciating what I'm doing enough to want to use those features on their own initiative, not merely because I made them feel obligated to. Enough said on that subject. Speaking of Let's Player pet peeves, another thing that annoys me to no end is all of these people who do gameplay commentary that's just full of complaining and rage. Now, I'll admit that sometimes those people can have a very entertaining style and be very funny. So it can be lots of fun to listen to them rant and so on. But not always. I'd really rather see people playing games that they enjoy and enjoying the games that they play. When they sit there and whine and complain about the game constantly, talking about how it's too unfair or terrible game design because they have some difficulty with something, it's a turnoff for me. Because honestly, most of the time, and I mean almost all of the time, it's totally their fault, their failure, and they end up sounding kind of like idiots blaming the game for whatever they're doing wrong or not getting. Personally, I try hard not to do this. I'd rather make fun of myself, admit that I'm screwing up or being stupid or missing something, than start raging about how unfair or broken the game is. I try to choose games that I am nearly certain ahead of time that I'll love. And then I try to stay as positive, enthusiastic, and appreciative of the game as I can. Even when I play a game that's actually pretty bad, like my Daggerdale playthrough, I'm going to try to point out the positives and mostly just make fun of it in a lighthearted, amused sort of way. That's just the style of Let's Plays that I want to do. I'm passionate about my gaming. I love these games and exploring them, enjoying them, finding all of the awesome stuff put into them by creative developers. I want to present each game in what I perceive to be its best light. I want to share what's great about these games and what I find so wonderful in them. As you know by now, if you watch my videos, I go at a slow, sometimes torturously slow for some people, pace in these games. I look around a lot, I read everything, I search for hidden things, I want to pick up everything, take everything, interact with everything, talk to everyone, and generally squeeze every last bit of content, story, and cool stuff out of each game. I don't care that it takes a game, it makes it take 3 or 4 times as long to complete as the average playthrough. In fact, to me, that's a bonus. Look at how much more I'm getting out of the game for my money. I know that a lot of people don't want to watch that style of Let's Play, and I'm fine with that. I'm really excited, though, about those rare people who do specifically want to see that style of play being able to find my channel and my videos and enjoying what I've got to share. That's why I'm doing this in the first place. That's what this channel and the effort I'm putting into it is for. It's for the people who want to see this specific style of Let's Play and maybe haven't found nearly enough of it in existence already. So while I absolutely do welcome all kinds of comments, suggestions, even criticism, realize that this core aspect of my gameplay style is not going to change. You're welcome to post things like, "You should hurry up and get through to the next area," or "This is taking too long, pick up the pace," or whatever. And I'll read those things and actually try to keep them in mind, but I'm not really going to alter my preferred playstyle very much to cater to these kind of requests. I'm sorry for those who want that, but I'm just not likely to budge much, if at all, on that basic principle of how I play these games. I'm also not a fan at all of the idea of cutting out material from my playthrough. I know some people would like to see me edit out chunks of boring footage, but honestly, I just don't think I'm going to do that. I'd rather keep it all in and let you skip over whatever you feel like skipping over. There might be a few people out there who actually want to watch me sort through my inventory for 5 minutes or scour a room for the 4th time. If you don't, no problem. It's easy to skip around in these videos however you like. You have my permission to not watch everything.